post-Maryland Million Day, all kind of feeling it. Keith, you still back on set with us here. But interesting, wonderful day that we had yesterday.
Beautiful, beautiful day. Energetic crowd out on the apron. It just kind of built as the day went on. Some really, really good racing. The classic going to Brilliant Ice. And we're going to, after the races, kind of discuss show you the final 3/16 of a mile of each race. But that was a really good effort by that one, stretching out. Emotional victories, too, for some of these connections.
Yes.
And the ties that they had and the things that were involved with these horses, the storylines, really, really good this year. But, yeah, congrats to Brilliant Ice and those connections. Dan Ullman yesterday. I want to thank Dan Ullman. I want to thank Brian Netto, who came up here from Florida. Dave Joseph, Phil Janak, everybody, the whole team. Dave Rodman. Excellent, the best.
The best.
Yourself and also Mackenzie. I mean, great job by the whole team, and we want to thank them. And Dan, man, if you were following along, I didn't check on Brian's picks close. I didn't go back through them, but I know Dan, he came up after the Classic, and he's like, if Clubman gets home, it's going to be a really good day.
Right.
And Clubman got home
His value
at
play.
28.40. That was beautiful. And I think he had the late pick 3 was cold on top. I think 6 winners on top. And, we're lucky enough to have, people that are involved that bring that kind of insight to the races and can kind of help the gamblers. And we're about kind of maybe the $2, $4, $10 gamblers per se. The bigger guys, they're going to have their opinion. We might give them a little bit, wake them up to a horse, but great job by the whole team did a phenomenal job. All of the people, in the paddock, Phoebe Hayes,
the racing office,
phenomenal.
Card.
Yeah. So don't want to leave anybody out. Even Michael Tyler here from Amtote, he did a great job. But anyhow,
everybody, just a big thank you to everybody on our home base and those who came in to help us out here. But the track is fast and the turf is firm today here. Talking about it with Brian, he's like, this card can't figure it quite. Unsolvable here with some of these races that we have going on. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with that early pick 5 on the turf. In this claiming 20,000 for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 2. Scratches in the 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Keith, you go with the number 2 in Fonder. Let's go ahead and take a look at that effort. 2 back last time on the turf here for Arno Delacour. Victor Carrasco stays on.
Yeah, this was off a little bit of a break, a change of surface. Synthetic down at Turfway to Colonial on the turf. First time Lasix outer post and made a good run. 5-6 wide, closes in just a miss. Inst Party came back and it ran okay. And Momentous Miss, third in this race, has run like the mid-60s at this level over this turf course. I like the finish here from Fondre. I think had no interest whatsoever on the main track last time. Coming back, it's a second time Lasix on the turf angle. He's 3 for 10, 6 for 10 if you want to tweak that a little bit. I know it's third time Lasix, but second on the turf. Barn doing quite well at this meet. Yeah. I think there's enough speed because White Heat, the 3, the 5, Designer, very, very quick. Those two go at it. And I'm looking for Fundry, Donate Life, inside-out trips that we like to see on this turf course to get it done.
2-1-6-5 for Keith Fusel there in race number 1. Let's go ahead to race number 2. Keith, you've got that early pick 4 that you so generously gifted us here. And it does begin in this main claiming 12-5.
Yeah, lighter ticket, $15. These things have been difficult, so bear with us. I mean, it's a challenge, and if you can add a little bit to these tickets, we keep it reasonable. If you want to go a little bit more, go right ahead. Grab a friend. 6-7, too deep to get you started. Lance, Smile, Aunt Margaret. Those two should be out a long way in race number 2. Race 3, we spread 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. I've got wide open written here on my proof. Absolutely wide open race. It's a spread race. Going to take a shot with Peppermint Class first time on the turf. Single in race 4. Point Doom, 8-5. Going to be an awfully short price for Kieran. This just might get him back on the winning track. He's a 5-time winner, taking advantage of the conditions. Not an easy task, but I think he could be up to it today. Race 5, 1, 5, and 8 to wrap it up. Guapo again, a good 12-1 on the morning line. Another tough race. And Brian, we talked about him doing these morning lines. Very, very difficult. It's a challenge, but I think Guapo again will escape it a little bit of value when you look at how deep this field is in race number 5.
$15 ticket, and it makes sense for this kind of day that we have here on Sunday. It starts in this first leg in this maiden claiming 12-5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the girls, 3, 4, and 5 years old. You go with the number 6, Lance's Smile, as well as I do for Diane Marici. Tori Alba, he's just been having a great weekend thus far.
Outer draws are okay. We saw yesterday this track, horses made some big moves around the turn, the final turn, 4, 5, and 6 wide, and they sustained. Shakir Fire swung out to about the 7 or 8 path and kept on going. Lance's Smile, we'll be able to prompt maybe in that 2 or 3 path, maybe 4 wide, because I think Sweet Honey Bee is going to go from the inside. Aunt Margaret as well, fresh. Hasn't been seen in over 2 years, but comes back, showed that speed on the turf. Might be the speed of the speed. Will that layoff kind of get her the last eighth of a mile? Marici Barn, horses are live. They're running. I think this one, makes that move into Aunt Margaret. I like seeing these two separate, I think, by the 3/16 pole. Yeah. We'll see if anybody else can run them down, but these are the two I'm going to key on in race 2.
And those are the horses to kind of key on in general. 6-7-5-3 for Keith Fusel there in race number 2. Let's go ahead to race number 3. Back on the turf here, going a mile here for the girls 3 and up in this claiming 20,000, which have never won 3. Scratches in the 2, 15, 14, and 14, 15, and 16. Keith, you go with the number 7 on top here. Peppermint Class, Diane Marici, Tori Alba here. Let's take a look at that off-the-turf effort last time out here just a couple of weeks ago.
She's got some good back figures on the main track. She handled, a track with moisture. In this particular race, I needed her this day at 7-2. She kind of gets hung up in a little traffic right there. The 2 horses, particular afternoon, coming to the 5/16 into the top of the stretch, the quarter pole. And that little loss of momentum, I think, was just enough. She gets beat a nose. Navani had a little bit more momentum, right? Got the jump. Peppermint Class tried to make it up, just couldn't do it with this really gritty effort the last eighth of a mile. So I'm looking on the turf. Hard spuns, they can kind of run on anything, right, Cal? And then you go bottom side, tap it mare. Second down was 2 for 3 in the money on the turf, topped it in 80. I know this mare can get a round of ground. No superstars. It's a really, tight field. This field is really tough to separate. A lot of similar running styles as well. If Tori Alba's kind of got position towards the inside 3/8 pole with some run, I think she can follow through with a good number here in that 8, 10, 12 to 1 range.
No, absolutely. I think it's a nice little stab to try with this. You go back to the fact, the dam was never tried on the turf, but the dam's half sibling had a little bit of success on this synthetic, so you have to just take a little bit of candor to that. Yeah. The Grand Dam was tried and ran well in Monmouth and Fairgrounds at the allowance level on the turf, so that's kind of where that came from, is kind of the try here. So that fits. I like the stab here. That's a nice value here. Talk about the number 6, Keith, on the inside. More Than Glory, Chucky Lawrence, Horacio Caramanos. A little bit of a, do you have an idea as to a little bit of an answer from that effort last time out?
Yes, there was a little hidden trouble that wasn't caught. We'd seen it. I think even Dan reading his stuff this morning, he actually had seen it as well. A little tap of the brakes was saving ground down the backside. Settled a little bit better than the 2-back try here, where she was a little bit, the rank steadied along a little bit, but had some traffic, worked outward, didn't quite kick on against maybe a little bit better field. I think that was an A other than or 2 in life. So tougher group, I thought, at Colonial. Looking at this race, not a lot of true speed. I don't think, this horse necessarily needs to be the front, but will be close enough, I think, with an alert break and can stay the trip against this group.
Yeah, absolutely. The number 10 on the outside in Madness, Kelly Breen, Carol Cedeno, coming over from those Monmouth efforts. Kelly Breen not having the best of luck as of late, but we're trying to find something for Kelly here.
Another one. This is the kind of, could be the main speed. I think will be into the race. Has been keyed up. You see the comment. I like that. Pull 3 wide, pull 3. So eager to go early. Been throttled back in some of these races. Maybe you kind of go ahead and let it rip with this runner. Works the condition, right? It's a 3-time winner. Everybody else has only won 2. I think Madness is forward, stays around the trip along with More Than Glory. But you've got to look in the rearview mirror. There's some horses that can make a run. Your top selection, only try on the turf, was very good. Solving Progress, we used to work, try to draft down, I think, settle and make a run into it. Stage Call, your second pick. Will definitely be used in my exactas. Was used in my pick 4. Out of that race at Colonial, has come back and improved figures off the break. Look who she ran against, cover the spread, and ran a big effort yesterday on Maryland Million Day. Lots of ways to go. I suggest in race 3, find a horse that's maybe 6, 8 to 1. Work them top and bottom of your exactas.
Yeah, there we go. 7, 6, 10, 12 for Keith Fusel there in race number 3. Race number 4 starts that Rainbow Pick 6. We have a $4,700 carryover. Let's take a look at my ticket as we go in. Just to cover, honestly, I was having trouble. I had to take off a horse in race number 5. I had 5 horses there. I was going to add the number 4 in my second leg in race number 5 there. Sheldon Russell, Madison Myers, their legitimate horse for a price of 12 to 1 underneath. I really like it. And then I also had another horse in race number 9. I had to try and find a single somewhere. Otherwise, I was going to be giving you guys, a $50, $60 ticket, and we don't, yes, it would make sense, but also I don't need to be giving that kind of ticket out. So there we go. We'll dive into that a little bit more, but race number 5, going to be a little bit of a scramble here. I'm almost envious of your early pick 4 sequence that you got because you were able to find a single somewhere. So it was just, I had trouble here today. So, I originally went too deep in race number 9, but $28.80 here. Let's go ahead to race number 4. That does begin it all here in this claiming 30,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3. Going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. You go with the number 5, Point Doom. This is your single on your ticket. Let's take a look at exactly why here. Kieran McGee, but had a little bit of a trouble last time out.
Yeah, Point Doom, a 3-time winner again, talking about that condition. Yes, a trouble trip. Outer post in that field of 10. Step slow, 6 wide run and churned, sloppy sealed surface. Definitely better figures, but I like the effort and the willingness. This is a horse that's been involved in some pretty quick paces of late and faded slightly. Catches the right kind of drop today. I like this move for Kieran. He's 19 for 35, 54%, 30 of 35 in the money. Conditional claimers at 2 to 1 or less. This horse will be below 2 to 1. ROI is positive. He's going to have to be tied on and take the rate. He's got a break, but there is some serious speed in this race with one-way traffic and force of justice. He's very quick in his own right, but I think he might be best served just spying that speed, and he can make a pop move if he's right. He'll blow past these top of the stretch. We'll see if he's right. But Point Doom at a shorter price. I thought the 2 Minister of Magic, I like your top selection here at an 8 to 1. Really good little value nugget with Minister from Magic. This horse comes back 3rd off of a break. How about this sample? This stat on a smaller sample.
Here we go.
For Jane Sibeli. Past 3 years on the dirt. 3rd off of a 60 to 180 day break.
Yep.
So you're thinking dirt. She's not her horse turf.
Right.
4 for 9. 5 for 9 into money with a 449 ROI. And this one has a turn of foot. Forston had major trouble last time out. Good willingness to the wire against an okay field. Positional speed from the inside. Should be able to outrun Order of the Kettle early. Buck and Dreamer's got that chasey pace.
Yep.
I like that one. And then Parkerness is a horse. Definitely shown speed. The last couple, Timonium, Aqueduct. Go back on the page. I think you're going to see this horse revert to closing tactics with J-Rod.
Gets to a normal racetrack for this one in Parkerness. 5-2-6-1 with a single on Point Doom for Keith Fusel in his early pick 4. We go ahead to race number 5. That starts the late pick 5. We always have good, nice pools there and an interesting sequence here. Starts on the turf, a mile and 16 for the 3-year-olds and up in this allowance optional 40,000. Going ahead, you go with the number 1 on the rail. Guapo again, nice 12 to 1 for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Let's take a look back. Horacio Caramanos today, but Toledo in this video.
Yeah, this is a horse I chased the first couple times.
Right.
With one back and saw those races in Argentina. I'm like, oh, they might have something here. Took a little while maybe for this guy to get acclimated. But, man, he's holding very, very good form. And what a race last time, going from 5.5 out to a mile from the 9 post. 4 to 3 wide, 3 to 4 wide, whatever you call it. Relentless run. Look at this run this horse sustains. He went a mile and a 16th when you break it down with the ground loss, and he runs down a horse, Wish Me Home, who's been competitive at this 2 other than level. So we're stepping up a little bit. I think it's going to work. It's going to be okay. Guapo again with Caramanos. He's got enough position. I don't see him terribly far back in this group.
No.
Navigate through a little bit of traffic maybe from the far turn home, but I like the form this guy is holding at 12-1. I think Brian's got him lined. He's got to be an okay number in here. There's some strong turfers. Take a shot with Guapo again.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. You mentioned, the kind of that back class kind of. This is the right time to step up, especially with that trip last time out. The number 5, Fierce and Strong, 6-1. What a great exacta that you've got going on here, Keith. Mike Salvaggio Jr., Yomar Torres just missed out in the alphabet soup last time out.
Look at this turf record, 5 of 8. That's huge. 8 for 8 in the money. The other 3 were seconds. Really good. Yeah. Speed. Positional speed, doesn't need the lead. He just runs, just gets beat. Christopher wore him down. Christopher has won 3 straight, become a kind of a key horse in these 2 other than 3 other than's allowance. A couple of races were stakes recently. You see the Alphabet Stoop, I think they were state bred or restricted stakes. He won this condition going back in August over this turf course with a good number. Everything works here for the 5. Fierce and Strong. Yomar Torres, he got a win yesterday, right?
He did.
For Bernie. For Bernie,
yes.
Bernie,
yeah, Foxy Jr. And then the number 8 won an award, kind of just something. It's a horse you can just kind of do this with, can kind of just grab and say, hey, this horse belongs here. This is, kind of just really fits the bill nicely here.
Yes, improved form. Has come back off of freshening from November to April. Just seems to be getting better and better. I think he and Fierce and Strong will be fairly close through the backstretch run, making that run around the far turn and try to sustain the 2 St. John's. What do you say? He's run well. Doesn't matter. Hurdles, flats. It doesn't matter with him. You know the trip we're going to get with Forrest. I'll touch upon, Ruse I'm going to use, yes. But more of a value shot underneath. Wine Collector, the 10. And I'm going to go here because I think the flow is going to be okay. All since August, was a first-time gelding over a soft course in July at Colonial. But look who he ran against right behind, Fulminio. That's a formidable opponent. Comes back off the turf, no good. Freshen, Lasix, second-time gelding turf. If you kind of want to take that shot.
Love that.
Take a shot underneath or a couple bucks to win in place, then use them. But I wouldn't completely leave him out. We saw the other horse of Rudy, or was it Shankles the other day that Robin like Whiskey and a Charo run big at a big number.
There you go. I like that underneath. 1, 5, 8, 2, 10 underneath. Wine Collector there for Keith Fusel in race number 5. Race number 6, actually, I got too quickly. We're going to be right back after this commercial break to talk about the rest of Sunday's card. And now we're back with the Jackpot Super High 5, of course, and the start of our late pick 4 here. Of course, that low 15% takeout here for the Jackpot Super High 5, and of course that late pick 4, always an attractive pool here. Starts in race number 6 for these 2-year-old fillies in this maiden claiming 45. Scratching the 4 high you love, scratching the 10. Hold on, you go with the number 9, and let's go ahead and take a look at that effort last time out for Bougie Bubbles with Hugh McMahon, Toriaba.
Bougie Bubbles.
Love that.
Yes. Flashed that speed. Got to the front. Was really sharp early. And one thing I said to myself after this race, if she puts blinkers on, I'm going to bet out on this one next time out. Now, they didn't put the blinkers on. Unless it's coming later today. But I thought she lost just a little bit of focus. Christy, my love, kind of went by her, opened up, and she's under a hustling ride. And she looks like she's going to retreat all the way back through the field. But she doesn't. She kind of just stays around. Look at this effort. Other horses having a chance to kind of converge on her.
She comes back.
She pretty much holds her own right. Very willing to the wire. I like this outer draw today, seeing the way the track played yesterday. So, but she might just pop to the front again. She was super sharp out of the gate in that debut. I'm going to take her right back. I think she gets a little bit of an assist maybe with High Love, who ran yesterday, who showed that speed. Didn't show the speed yesterday. Kind of drafted back, but showed the speed in debut.
Right.
Out of that, so that's one of the speed types I don't think she's going to have to deal with in today's 6th race. I'm going to use her, no doubt. The 7, Greek Sing. A little bit of a price shot here. Sibeli again, bottom side. Plenty of dirt in this family. Tried a turf debut at Colonial. Slammed at the break. Okay, some okay works. found some angles that kind of say, okay, at this kind of number, I'm not going to leave this 7 out. This 5, a first-time starter for Mike Trombetta by Liam's Map out of Missy. Liam's Map, probably one of the maybe better stallions, more expensive stallions to this mare.
Yep.
This one's a Half the Secret Rules and Liquidator. 2 really, really good racehorses. The full sister galloped, I believe, second out at Belmont. Early in this family, they win early. None to win first out, but out of the 6 horses that start 2 seconds and a third, would not surprise me in the least if Missy's Map is ready to go here with Caramanos and Trombetta. Curb, yes, showing that speed. So there's interesting ways to look at this race. I like Bougie Bubbles' draw. And this firster scares me a lot, and we got a little value shot right in the middle with the 7 Creek Sing. Yep.
Okay, there. Keith Fusel, 9752 there in race number 6. We go to race number 7, and we're back on the turf. We're going 5.5 here for the 3-year-olds and up. In this restricted allowance, scratches in the 4 and the 6, Quince Brew, Doc Linkus. We go with the number 12 and Call Me Andy, and why not? For Brendan Walsh with Georgie Ruiz, what's not to love there? Tries the turf for the first time here, but has been a nice company previous to this.
Here's a stat for Brendan Walsh. Past 3 years, 6 for 23, 26%, 10 for 23 in the money. Dirt to turf sprints, ROI 363. I got to call my man Action Andy and give him a little tip on Call Me Andy. Because I never been on the turf, but let's take a look here. We gave you the stat. First off, second Lasix, first Lasix here on the turf. I believe this is a second-time gelding, like that angle. Breeding side, half to a Grade 1 winner. Okay, I might need Lapidus to kind of come down, take a look at the foot for me. If he gives me the high sign, I just unload. But out of a really strong race, an drastically improved number off the break with the Lasix last time out. Catches the field, a bunch of horses. They kind of like to make that run from the back and not quite get there. This one, he goes and gets Ruiz, turf rider. I like the angles here for Call Me Andy. Maryland bred, bringing this Maryland bred, spotting the spot.
There we go, spotting the spot. Let's go to the 14 SS Sinatra. Carrie Holbein, Brittany Scampton here, tried the turf for this 3rd time in its career, but just kind of starting to get the hang of it amongst a tougher bunches here.
Expected a little bit more last time, but it was an overland trip, a good trip at Colonial, 2 races back, a good run. Had a little issues there, but Holbein's got speed inside, and they got this horse all the way outside. Gonna need Brittany Scampton to come up with a ride. She's gonna have to save a little bit more ground than what she did last time. This guy, if he is able to do that, I like his company lines. I think he can fire home from the top of the stretch.
There we go. Let's go to the head to the number 10 on the inside. And Benny Havens, of course, TJ Aguirre, Sheldon Russell, opted to run out of the Maryland Million Turf Sprint, runs here today, and I think finds a more comfortable spot here today.
There's speed in here. There's enough. Watch Out World inside. Blue Kingdom's Quick Guardian Prince is certainly fast enough. Even Someday is LJ, who ran off the screen last time for Tim, but kind of an unknown horse when you really look at it, because this is going to be the test for him. He dominated that lesser group, but he just might be a turf freak. But no, Benny Havens, you know what you get with him. He's going to take back. He's going to be 8-10 lengths out of it, leaving the far turn. Sheldon probably saves some ground. He'll just kind of wait to the top of the lane and make that run just like he did last time. That was a good number. Got up there at second at 25 to 1.
All right. 12, 14, 10, 9 for Keith Fustel. Let's go ahead to race number 8, and we're back on the dirt here in this allowance. Optional 40,000 going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the coupled entry of the 1A, Mr. Hustle. You go with the number 6, Manor House. Let's go ahead and take a look at that win last time out for Bruno Testori. Dennis Arujo gets the call.
Another, kudos to the racing. Another really good dirt allowance put together here. I looked ahead to next Friday's card. Man, we've got some really good races at Laurel Park. Manor House came back off from May of 23 to September of 24, and you get this effort. Laid in for the tag, no tag today. Got to the front, 24-48, not demanding internals. But, man, the long stretch didn't matter. This horse just kicked home and cruised the last, I'd say, 3/16 of a mile. Good bodied horse, 89. Could bounce off the face of the earth. But Tesori, to his credit, they win back, and he's been good when he raises these horses, claimers to allowance, 29% over the last 3 years, 2 for 3 with the dirt routers. Interesting. I looking at the break, just inside of him, Lost in Rome's got some speed. So does Flying Liam. He's going to have to maybe rate just a bit. But you go back on his page, he's got a good effort just off the pace at Gulfstream Park. Manor House, yeah, he might be an all or nothing. He either runs really big, or I think he just kind of top of the lane. He just gives in. So I'm going to use that one. Your analysis was scratched the other day. Private vet illness on the 3rd comes back. Let's hope he's right. He's kind of got some sketchy form in and out, but he likes this track and ran very good against a better group with a little trouble. You see that comment, behind foes, angle, churn, Armando R. What does it take? Freightlin, who's in here. Freitlin's another one. He kind of bounces around with his numbers, right? 85, 75, 85. So he's got an outer draw with some other speeds. He's going to have to time the run from just off of it just right and see if he can kind of keep going.
Yeah, he's kind of a time trip kind of horse there. 6'5", 7'8" for Keith Fustel there. Talk about
Catalea strike, yes.
10-1.
How about this effort? They took the blinkers off last time. Wasn't the most demanding flow up front. Sloppy seal. Maybe that was it. They got it done. This horse brought a powerful final quarter of a mile home in that race. Yeah, I like the improvement here with Avello at a good 10-1 morning line.
There we go. 6'5", 7'8", Keith Fustel there. Race number 8, our finale back here on the lovely Laurel lawn here in race number 9, going 1 mile and 16th on the turf for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Maiden claiming 30,000. Scratches in the 11 Stormwatch, the 12 Discreet, BNB. And this is, as I mentioned, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Keith, you go with the number 4 and Ike's Gamble here. Guadalupe Preciado. Angel Cruz gets the call.
We've got 4 horses out of that September the 15th race. Right back at you. Ike's Gamble bounced around a little bit of the break. That race, Maxi Match went and got the lead, controlled things, and ran kind of big. But I tell you what, Ike's Gamble, I thought would be all done. And when he didn't get the lead, he rated and he kept on going. That was second blinker, so he's improved form. I think with the blinkers on, pops to the front. This race is, I don't want to say inscrutable. This is another 7-8 horse field where you could just kind of spread around in your exactas, doubles, you name it. You got to spread.
Yep.
I think this horse, with a clean break, Cruz will try to go ahead, be aggressive, get to the front, and nurse.
And there we go. 4, 10, 8, 5. 10 on the outside. Chevy Man, Jane Sibeli. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this horse also lands on lands near favoritism here, just with the fact that 4 is kind of, just had a bit of an uncharacteristic trip. 2 back was just a bit buzzy in the gate, so that attributed to the trip that this one had in that effort 2 back. Sorry, Sunday, guys.
That's all right. No, fractious in the gate, 2 back. You're right. And it was a slower flow, but it was a little keyed up with the blinkers on. Took the blinkers off. Forrest said, okay, we're going to relax a little bit, and this guy did. He settled better. He was able to make that run an extra 16th of a mile. I don't think is going to hurt his chances whatsoever. You're going to see these gates open, and I think you're going to see Forrest do a typical move, angle over to the left, and save a little bit of ground and just kind of ramp it up for the final 3/8 of a mile. Blind Eye, yes, a horse that's running very well. 18 tries, 10 of 18 in the money. Did all the dirty work chasing last time. This one works for me as well. Had a really tough trip. I had a tough trip last time and 2 races back and closed with a flourish. 4, 10, 8, 5. I could talk about this race
exactly. So we got to stop before we keep going. Let's go ahead to the lightning round and talk about some of your picks, Keith. Starting with a best bet starting with a value play in race number 5. Call me Andy race number 7, best bet in the number 12 at 9-2. Call me Andy. Walsh and Ruiz team up together.
Yeah, 26% last 3 years going these dirt to turf sprint angles. Half to a grade 1 winner. That's all I need to know. They targeted this race with the Maryland bred come up here. I think they can get the money.
Okay, let's see our next value play that we have. There we go, Fondra. Race number 2, 6-1, Delacour Carrasco early on. That's a nice one to go with.
Yeah, enough speed here. White Heat and the designer of the 3 and a 5. If they both break cleanly, I think it's going to be a good battle up front. Fondre to slide into that inside trip around the turn, improving form, a little bit of protection. I like this one. Delacour going great guns at this meet. Second Lasix on the turf to rally into it.
And in race number 5, a value play of 12-1 with Guapo again on the rail for Rudy Sanchez, Solomon, Horacio Caramanos.
Overland trip last time, still got it done on a stretch out from 5.5 to a mile. A little extra ground here. I don't think that's going to be a concern. Keying up against the right horse, Wish Me Home has run well at this level.
And also, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Let's discuss exactly what happened yesterday because it was just a fantastic day. We'll start in the nursery with Jerry Robbs Bob's Do It for Michael with a 77 buyer figure there for Perez and Rob.
Little hiccup out of the gate, had to deal with a little trouble, a little competition inside, shook clear around the turn, drifts late and digs in.
Let's also talk.
Sway.
Absolutely. The turf ladies was next with Circle Home. Miguel Vera. Oh, we are going to just. Yep, there we go. Circle Home getting in off of the AE list for Miguel Vera Dark Hollow Farm. Very, very nice there. 88 figure.
Yeah, when they get a 6 a.m. call, wake-up call, hey, you're in, guys. And Precious Avery looked gone. Tried to steal it on the front end. Circle Home said, no, not going to happen. Reels them in late.
And there we go. We'll go. I mean, it was so nice to just kind of see them get that win and get on it. But let's go ahead to the next one there in the Maryland Million. Lassie and Shakara Fire, 68 figure there. Nice ride by Angel Cruz.
How about this one? Yeah, swinging out wide. A little bit of a slow break. 7-8 wide, top of the stretch. And I think I put Relentless Run in the chart, and it was relentless to get up over Malibu.
And Starstruck Notion in the Maryland Million Turf. Yep, we'll go ahead. Starstruck Notion in the Maryland Million Turf. What a phenomenal ride by Forest Boys. They're just so expertly timed for Patrick McGurney. 91 figure.
Another one of those where you thought the leader was home, right?
Absolutely.
Well timed. You called it up at the wire with Forest.
Celtic Contender in the Maryland Million Sprint. That was I was laughing because Victor said, "Get this horse away from another horse." So yeah. But really nice. 87 there for Hammy Smith.
A little squirrely there coming up to him, right? He said, "Nah, we're going to get outside here, a little wandering."
We're not going near another horse.
Straightened away, though, and was able to get it done. Man, Bandcamp was rolling outside.
And, of course, Bossarati against the boys here in the Maryland Million Turf Sprint. Really nicely done here, 86.
Quickly in the stride, right to the front, and showed absolute no let-up for the Russells.
Foxy Jr. with an 84 in the Maryland Million Distaff there for Bernie Houghton. Yomar Torres, yep, gets the call there.
And talk about a horse. Just wins, and wins. Out there 4 wide, perched around the turn and just made that run. A really, really big effort. Sheila's War Cloud getting better. Just a little bit too late.
And, of course, very emotional in the Maryland Million Classic there with Brilliant Ice coming up with that beautiful rail trip. 94 for Annette Eubanks, who couldn't be here yesterday.
How about that? Yeah, I mean, hats off. The whole team there and the owner. Very emotional. Love the stories. 4 wide the far turn. Barbosa saw a little seam. He saw it developing past the 5/16.
Yep.
I'm getting inside and taking the short way home. And it paid off.
The emotional win. It was just the epitome of Maryland racing yesterday. And once again, thank you, everybody, for being a part of it. And with that, we will continue with Sunday's card. We will go on to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck, everybody.